Hi. Can I just come on here to be just me one time? Just regular old me with a boring conversation telling you no dualities of any sort except for one duality. But I have some new stuff. You know, I brought with my whole case with me. It's just me and everything I want to know. MrTacpans. Did you ever meet MrTacpans? Yeah, I took him out today. I usually leave him in, you know. I usually leave it in his head, but today he said he wants to come out of his head for once, and he wants to be a brain that can just sense what everything's like. Okay, you see he's multicolored because his position that he takes in every situation, and the position he takes here is blue. He's got 4 reds, A, B, C, D. To his right is an F. He's got a green for life. To the bottom left is a yellow. And to the bottom right is a yellow. They both hop over what is another green, 6 and 8. 6 and 8, 7 and 9, the birth. They come to live. So what would actually happen? If you're in your mother's belly over here, and your mother sits up on an angle like this, and you're still in your mother's belly, and you come out between your legs right over here. And then the doctor lifts the baby. But look what happens when the doctor lifts the baby. Number 3, creation, right into that angle. 135 degrees here, well, it's over here, and 135 degrees over here. Because it doesn't start over here. It's starting over here. It's like a clock. You know what I'm saying? Like a clock. 135 degrees is this corner over here. See the way 9 is higher than 7? Because in Alpha Omega, okay, the 7 is actually the highest. There's nothing past 7 in Alpha Omega. Nothing. The reason for that is because when the 7th gate moves, it brings 9 and 8 into the birth world, and an angle connect electricity up in the heavens through the matrix mainframe. The simple unit that doesn't have to think or worry. It's just a machine, but a well run machine, because the machine passes right through God. Okay, he's the last element. When he tells the machine to stop from within himself, the machine stops. If there's something in the machine that's a problem, he has to get one of his midway angels to correct it, because the problem is not with the people. The problem is in the system. And therefore, the people also have problems that they created, but the problem is in the system, which distorted man's soul on this earth. So when we take these 2 gates, and this is the lowest one, is the 7th gate. Let us say it would be more like this. You see, on this angle, it's the secondary world. On this angle, it's the other world. This is the in-between world of the 7th gate. In-between floors. You see this blue one is slightly higher than this yellow one, yet this yellow one, number 7, is above, where 8 is over here on this angle, 22.5 degrees. 9 times 25. I use 25 degrees, and I use 20 degrees, and I use 30 degrees, and I use a whole bunch of stuff. So this is Rubik's Cube. So everybody says, why does it stop on 7? Because 7 is the lowest. 8 and 9 went up. Their numbers get replaced. The 8's number gets replaced by a 7.5 or a 5.5. The 9 becomes actually a 6 in its stable position. But when it connects, it becomes a 5.5. As well as the 5 becoming a 5.5, and on board the 5 is 4, delta. Delta gets a 1.25 stick for representing, okay, the totality of the secondary world. Although the energy of 2 and 8, Venus and Neptune, also penetrate, they only penetrate into Jupiter. And then it's Jupiter that redistributes. But when the energy comes down from 2, it moves over to 4. 4 now represents 2. So when 4 goes over to 6, okay, well, it is 4 because the 4 angle represents 6, so it is 2 for this angle. And since the 4 where the number 4 is represents that placement, okay, it is only 4 because it's replacing the number 2 at the top and the number 2 of the center. Why is the 2 at the top? Because the one at the bottom is 1, the one at the top is the second one. Going over to the left, giving it a value of 2, and in its own position, because there is no above the 4. There's no even number above 4. It's all even numbers, this. And then at the end, it's very special. Because although 8 is connected, the minute 8 connects, 9 must be connected. Because 9 is the birth into the 8th heaven. It's a very hard design. So everything stops on 6 just because of the transference of the world. But once everything ends in the world, it's really actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then there is no 7. But this is broken up. Okay? This is not actually this way, but it's put together this way. But in the open world, this just become corners. And we be playing inside the corners. And that's not what you actually wanted to do. So inside, I'm not exactly sure how to explain this. You see, the teacher always says, go to the corner, go to the corner, go to the corner. Right now, there are 4 corners on the outside and 2 on the inside and a roof and a floor. That's what's here right now. Are we going to live the same system, but in the other level? We will not need. We'll be able to play in the new world. We'll be able to play dead center in the new world. We will be dead and the center of the heavens. So we will play dead center. Now we were just off center. We are in between one and another. Even though we shouldn't be, I can completely be telling you a story that's upside down to what it actually is, and say the spirit, the electronic world is one side or the other, and we are just on one side in the center, and then we'd be at the end dead center. So it can work. It's either or, but it's an exact exchange. Either it is, and if it's not, it's just the other side of the electronic world or the spirit world. One of my questions was like this: are we in the spirit heaven or are we in time heaven? I think time heaven would be under the ground because you're running on time. Here we're running on the spirit of the mind, which runs on time heaven. Okay? So if we run on time heaven, the spirit of the mind would be Saturn, Saturday. But Earth, E-A-R-T-H, T-H finishes with time heaven. Time heaven on Earth. The 5th letter, saying that it's never left the first world and it's still connected. Time. Time is the number of 74, meaning we're running on the time of the spirit. So time heaven would be more of who created us. So in time heaven, you would have Tuesday of the chosen and Thursday of the thirst. And the thirst, not only because of the thirst of Thursday, but because it finishes in ST. So that means Earth would be connected to something else, letting time run inside the spirit. And so that would be Saturn or an X-planet of some sort. And this is just like a looking glass. You look out and you only see what you see. You only see what has not been distorted so that it looks like one. To tell you, if you look into the sky, you will look and look and look and only see as far as you see. You will never see anymore. You will see as far as you see, as far, and you will make up whatever you want. But imagine if we were able to close and pinpoint our vision instead of having a wide open vision, and you close the vision and you pinpoint it, like on a cat, okay? And now you have a better clarity, and you see into the sky. Now the sky I call the shutter sky. Why shutter? Shutter Island, shutter, the end of the word says earth, okay? Shut, S-H, spirit heaven. U, regardless of the letter U, the U gets 3 dots, and the U can be separated. Have you ever seen the U when you turn it this way and bring a line down? Or when you go this way, Okay, you've already completed your U. That line down is like going into paint and just making an extra line down. You've made two moves, my friend. A U and an L. But what do you mean an L? L in French is she. U, 21st letter, and L, the 12th letter, total of 33. You've made a creation because there's three dots. Three lines gets three dots. In fact, three lines get more dots because when the U starts here and goes around to here, that's a dot, and then it goes down, so the dot at the top goes for two lines if you never lift your pencil. But the minute you go up and stop, when you start, there's automatically a dot. Point zero is a dot, the point of departure, counting for one, although the name it gets is the round spot of departure. The other thing I want to tell you about, I've been trying to figure this out, but I'm not finished yet, is the Olympics. The winner stands in the middle. Sometimes three's on this side, sometimes three's on this side, two's on this side, two could be on this side. In horse racing, they're white and blue for 2 and 3, and 1 is always red. Very, very crazy, eh? Very crazy things. It's just, I don't even remember what I just said. Like I said, 1 and 7. I take this is a 4, right? I take this is 1 and 7, and I drag it, and I drag it, and I drag it, and I drag it, and I drag it. And where did it go? Look, here's your 1, and here's your 7. 1, 4, and 7. 1, 4, and 7 go together, do one thing. They live a life together. And next I'm going to show you, where is that? That was 4 and 7. I am going to show you what 2 and 5 do. Okay? This pen's no good. I must go through 100 pens a year. It cost me $11.99. Are you still with me? I feel like I'm rushing. You ever think of it? Rushing Russia. S-S-I-A. Sha. Russia. The I-A sounds like the H. Russia. It sounds like the A-H. Do you know why? Because the 9th letter, Russia, it just says Russia. It sounds like the H. Because the A and the H, the 1st and the 8th letter, are create in its own the I letter. It makes the H sound, okay, because of the birth of an angel. I and A, okay, take place, and all of a sudden you can say Shah. But the whole situation here, okay, all I saw was a C. Because Shah comes from CH. Shah comes from H. Say the word H. Take away the A, and the Ch is a Sh. When I come on here and speak and tell you things, I'm going to tell you one thing. I highly believe in all these things I say. I can see them practically working in my head. Although I'm not quick and prompt onto giving a liberated answer to where I don't have to think a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just like it's natural knowledge, I haven't reached that point yet. Eventually, I will believe and I will reach that point. And then everything I do is going to start to be like automatic and for certainty almost, always leaving the space and gap for error for sure, okay? Always leaving a space of time in between my thoughts. Just in case there was an error, I can correct it right away instead of continuing on a number that is taking us to a certainty place, but it was broken off from the originality of what we started with. So here's one of the how D works. Okay, this is the center of the one on top. This is the primary. It is the only, okay, even number on this side. A is first, D is second, and G is third. Okay, otherwise after that it would be the J. The J is an odd number, 10. And then after that it would be the M. And the M and the D are the same, but now when you go, every 9 is a new level. That's why I'm switching everything to metric time, taking off this 9 of who we are. If we take the time off of who we are and use this time as metric time, we'll be able to actually look back and see the whole world from metric time, and then we will see new things. We will see new things develop because of the certain, at 15 degrees metric time or 15 degrees regular time, it's 15 degrees altogether. but the numbers will shift from above to below, and now you're going to have a more precise angle to where we are because of the angle of pi, okay, which is our birth, okay? The structure of pi keeps going on and on and on, telling a story. It never ends. We need the story to end every single day so that we can look back. So by going from 24 hours to 15 hours a day, even though we still have the same amount of seconds, we are seeing things with different and new numbers. So D in the secondary world, position 2, secondary world, position D, secondary world, position 6, secondary world, position 8, the same numbers you use on your phone. This, okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to play this off center. You see the point here and the point here, and this is up a notch because this is the heaven of this world, and down here it gets closed. You can't live down here. You have to live up here. The mind has, you're not living under the ground, are you? You're living beneath another apartment inside here. It's just like a groundhog. I live on the second floor. I got someone living above me, and I got someone living below me, but it ain't God. It ain't God below. Even no matter how low you go for God, you can't go below because this is an apartment building. The same thing for this. They're apartment buildings. This world is the B world. This is the A world, okay? This is the B world. If man lives in the B world, okay, he must live in the A world, okay? I drew this design, and I have a piece going out over here, a piece that goes here, a piece that extends here. If I don't make these right, the pieces that will extend will absolutely tell me the world is divided. Over here is number 3, and this is a gamma corner. Here's another gamma corner, number 3. Is Earth living outside this world, or is 3 Earth? See the corners? When you fold these corners in here and fold all the 4 corners, it brings all the planets inside of man's vision. So then we could be on Earth because that would be the exact place for Earth. Okay, but even if I'm wrong about the Earth thing and keep saying we're not on Earth, we're just a corner 6. Regardless, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. F. See F and A? See this stick over here? It's shorter than the one up there. See? It's only got 2.5 lines, and this one's got 1, 2, 3. So everybody has, hey, how come the F letter is so short over here and longer here? Because it comes off of this letter here. Okay? The end of the letter stops here, right here. It can't go any further. See this letter here? Where did we get to? See, now it's an E. E and F. But this is another world. It's a different stage. Different worlds. Okay? At the same time, it's a 7. 7 here, and 7 here, and 11. It says, let me mark this out. How come every time I need a pen, I can't get a pen? Maybe I should get blistering mad. Hey, I'm blistering mad. Got to make sure we keep we got to make sure we don't get too mad, right? What is it going to do if we get too mad? Hey, I'm too mad. Oh, I'm two-man too. Oh, you're two-man too. Wow. Watch the way you say those numbers. 2 is TWO, right? What about 1? How do you spell 1? Well, let me see. Did you win 1? If you won 1 and you win 1, and it all sounds the same to me, so it's W-O-N-E. I win, I won, I'm one. Oh, with the W. But when you go to 2, it's TWO. Whoa, who won? You got to be very careful with 1 and 2, especially for this. Add up numbers 1 to 36, put them all in their own box. Go around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 7, 8. Just go all around. So in the 1 position, you'll have 1, you'll have 10, you'll have 19 and 28. it'll equal to 58. TWO, 20, 23, and 15, 58. 1 and 2 have the same count. So you don't think they're doing the same job? They have the exact same count. 1 in front, 1 in behind. One must always repeat what is done, because it's just like uploading and downloading. That's all it is. You got to put it. It's got to go into the system. This is a mind. This is all about the transporting the energy of a mind. Okay, that's how our energy of our mind is transported. Our mind is here and there. We have another mind that's up there. That's in our mind. You see, it's got to go in the computer in our mind up there, and their computer down, mine down here. It's almost like saying you up there is playing Nintendo. Right now, he's playing Nintendo. He only gets to be in the back, and you're in the front over here playing the Holy Soldier from the Nintendo game. Anyways, let me just draw this up. Come and go, what to say, what to do, what do you know, where are we going to go, what are we going to do? Is time coming short? Will God come now? Will God come now? Will God come now? When's God going to come? How come he's going to come? Why should he come? Is this a real game? Is there a real God? Are we going to wait forever and ever and ever and ever and ever? No, we won't. We won't. We can't. We will, but we won't. We'll be dead and gone, gone and dead. Gone and dead, gone and dead, no more head, no more face. All value, no value. You don't have any value. No one has any value for you, but for those that lived after you. Whatever you do, the only thing that will live on in the future in this planet of the earth is those who come after you and speak about who you are. So the worst you can be is the best you'll be. They'll talk about you forever and ever. And will you really care? Why will people talk about people forever and ever if it didn't happen and they don't exist? Because then we must exist. They say everything that happens here on earth is just a reflection what the actuality of the truth actually is. So therefore, we must be surviving somewhere else, and we will always have to put up what we have done down here. Even though it's a let-go world upstairs where it's all about the mind and we don't actually get into anything, you never get to forget. That's the thing. You take it with you everywhere. Whatever you've done in any world you have entered, you will take it forever and ever in the mind of who you are. And you will forever be a better pearl than you've ever been before. Because to start off, you are an oyster. O and Y, yo, 11, oyster. God has connected everything in this world to the mind. This is the secondary mind. We're in the secondary world under creation. God is first. Who we are is second, upstairs, and over here we are third. We are the mind inside the game. It's usually A and B, but in this world we just created C and D. But there was no B because it's A and C, and it's only in between of who you are. Because there's always a separation between the two. Otherwise you'd be the same. I am sort of making a little design over here. You know, this world is such a fantastic world. When the Lord lets you know some stuff, you know, so the Lord, when he you know, when you get that knowledge, when you think you know, and you don't know if you know or you do know, and it really doesn't make a difference whether you know or you don't know. Just like I'm talking to you thinking I know everything. But I just feel so close to everything I say that that's what I say. This is YouTube. This is a book. We come out here to tell little stories. Others come out here with a guitar and they sing. This is my thing. This is my guitar. My mind is my guitar, and the sound you hear is the imagination of your own mind. Your destiny and belief is inside your own head. You will take it to bed every single night. It's not mine anymore. You are watching. Now it's yours. You can do with this whatever you please because you watched it. I gave it out for people to watch. So therefore people can now what? Oh, you got lost, eh? I did. It's so embarrassing, eh? You think I should tell them? Should we put this into the video or just knock this shit out? We'll knock it out, eh? Okay, it's gone. Okay, so I'm going to get one more stride in here. And then we're going to lock this one up and put this one to bed. So depending on how okay, I'm done. You remember the A and the F you saw 2 seconds ago? This is basically what it is. It's some kind of Chinese setup of some sort, okay? But that's what I figured in the Chinese letters or Asian letters or whatever it is they outline. First they draw the simple line and they outline it. Once they get the full outline, they have taken up the complete space of the creation of whatever design it was inside the circle. It must stay inside the circle. Okay. If it's not inside the circle and it's in the square, it's completely from another level. Okay. If anything goes to square, it will completely come from another world, unless it's on an angle square. Then it becomes a diamond shape and it fits perfectly into this world. So it all depends where the corners are. All right. So this is A and F. It's also 7, 7. And then there's, if you look at it this way, there's a line here. Just one line that went through the actual letter to begin with. There was a line here and a line here. So you get 7 and 7 and 11. Did you understand that from before? 7 and 7 and 11. So we'll go 77 and 11 is 88. Do you know why it's 88? I'm going to tell you something about 88. I'm going to show you something. Okay, I'm going to show you something about 88. This is the reason for 88. This is the one on an angle. You see it's a W? You see these 2 little pieces here that you sometimes see on the top? The reason it's not touching, because if I designed it together, it would show the 8 and you wouldn't see the little hat. The kippa is because we're showing the 45-degree angle, okay, the little hat. But this 8 over here, what happens is with the 8s is in this angle, the V over here will show you an empty space. So when you see an 8, okay, you know there's 2 eggs. And in between will be an X and then an O of empty space so they can grow. So anyways, another thing is I have this too much on an angle. You see this cane over here and this little stick, like the new walkers today? It's actually the Y letter with a U on it as a gimel. Okay? Everything is turned and then locked. Okay? And there's a little tiny loop. And when it gets to that loop, it automatically stops, right? And the minute it stops, when the force stops, okay, from that little loop it hits, it falls. And then it starts all the way to the end. It hits the loop and it falls. It always stays forced to the side because of the spin. So the minute it turns around, hits the loop, it falls down here. Then it turns around and it hits the loop on this side and it falls down here. And this turns around again. It goes around here, hits the loop on this side and falls, and it just keeps going back and forth. Something to do with time. In my dream. What do you want me to tell you? But don't forget, one face, explanation of a double face, explanation of a tri-face, and once you got a tri-face, you automatically have the other tri on the other face. So you got 2 tris in 1 tri. Double it up, double it down. Anyways, I'm going out for a little bit of a walk. Okay? If you want to know what this is starting to do, this is, put it this way, these would be the train stations in Monopoly. This would be the corners. Go is not the first spot. It's 0.0, but it's not dead center. 0.0, but not Point zero center. Point zero, go. The other thing is the train tracks and the Christ. There's a big, big thing between trains. I'm telling you, for anybody who's out there who doesn't believe in God, doesn't want to believe in God, don't believe in God. This whole thing about life right now, we are in an electronic world, just like being inside the Wii game or Nintendo or any other electronic game that you can play. If you've thought you've never been somewhere before, well, you are. You're right here where weak man lives. Man lives by the weak, and man is one of the weakest. Because in this game, you die twice. In this game, you die twice. So in this game, you die 4 times. We have 4 lives in this game minimum. Because when we die in here, we awaken there. When we awaken there, we die here. But first we have to go into the spirit world and die, and we have to go into the secondary world and die, and into the creation world and die, to be born in the first spirit world, to enter into the second world, to be of the 3 creation, living as 6 man, connecting the electronics of 4 delta. So you want to know why in most games that we play Nintendo, why there's more than 1 life? That's the reason. The whole thing is with extra time and extra life, well, you can also get that. But how do you get that extra life? You get that extra life until you reach heaven, until you get your real life. But we are weak. Can you lift 1,000 pounds? No way. But in a Nintendo game, he can lift what he wants. Things seem to have no weight. So we one day will go into a Nintendo game in our next life, and we will see what it is to lift everything. It's going to be way too easy. Oh, I can lift this, I can lift that. Therefore, the word heavy would never exist unless you'd be saying groovy, and there'd be no grooves. I am Avatar MrTacpans. I have come and arrived 41.7 decibels, 86th month inside my destiny of 9 years. To bring time to where time should be, so all will be able to see the true vision of 360 degrees, to why 45 degrees is so important to 90 degrees. Have you ever noticed how many football games a year, okay, or soccer, or which sport scores the most points? Does anybody know which sport actually scores the most points? Well, if you land on free parking, it's a 500 minimum, but you get to go, it's 200 or 400. So it's the Indianapolis 500, and we're going around and around and around, or it's the F1, and we're playing Monopoly, and it's a game of 1 ace face, and let's go for the ride. So if it's an Indianapolis 500, well, the highest points in any sport is the 500 laps, run on the lap, right? I mean, in golf, they only golf 70. So for all the scoring in all the sports, okay, and where they get in between, that's how they will fit into the map of creation, because that's where they go. The horse runs at this speed at such a distance. The hockey puck is hit by a stick, and if the stick was hit anymore by the puck, the stick would break. They put a goalie and a mask and gloves and pads inside of a netting of where there's nothing to protect what's in, it's what's out they're protecting from coming in hockey. Baseball is on a diamond, and women just sort of take more to horse racing than diamonds are forever. Let's go to the baseball game. We'll have the 7th gate stretch. It's coming up to the 7th gate stretch. Everybody stand up, spread their arms. Oh, because we have to spread for the 7th gate. We are 5. We spread 6, we spread 7. Now the gate moves up or down. Which way should we go? So the 7th inning stretch comes, and the 9th birth ends a little bit early at 8.5 months, because at 8.5 months, The home team was winning, and we didn't have to go into the bottom of the ninth, so the baby came out, and we had life all the same. We all went home happy. But on the ice, they removed all the corners, so you couldn't have any trick plays or hurt anybody and squeeze them into a corner. So if they don't have any corners in hockey, why would they put earth and man on earth? Because earth is in a corner. But in fact, earth is not in a corner. Do you know why? Because in the secondary world, where only 2, 4, 6, 8 exist, earth is between 2 and 6. I just thought of that one. Earth is between 2 and 6 over here. It's not in a corner. In fact, the corner is over here. But if the corner is over here, in between here, it would only touch the corner of Earth. Unless what happens is like this. God shrinks his square. God shrinks his square. Mercury, Earth, Uranus, Pluto. It says me, up. But in actuality, this is in the 7th spot. It says me, go up. Okay, me, go up. Just like Jehovah, Shava'o. So all these planets are brought together and shoved into the center here. Okay, so that means Earth would be right here. And now the secondary planet would be on the outside, saying, yes, we do live on Earth. But then again, what happened to Pluto? Sorry, what happened to Jupiter? It's not there. So if we had to add Jupiter to the tango of mix, J for Jupiter, M for Mercury, E for Earth, U for Uranus, P for Pluto, it says J-U-M-P. Jump me up. Jump me up. And over here where you don't see the L, this is an omega. The circle becomes an omega. So now that will grow that story, and I will definitely get an answer of what it is. And enough answers in enough situations will show me a likelihood of where actually Earth is. Because if Earth is between Saturn, and it makes sense, you know, this is the first one I saw that I really makes sense. Because if Earth 3, okay, which is also 5 because of the E letter, because of beta creation number 23, okay, 2 times 3 is the 6th Earth, 2 plus 3 is the 5. We end up with 5 and 6, 11. Two and 3 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, but the 6 was already there originally. Okay, but now we've automatically created a 6. 5 times 6 is 30 creation. 5 plus 6 is 11. The 11 we add here and here that I added before. Total is 41. The 41st one is the Mediterranean plus 2. 43rd one is the Baltic plus 6. 47th one, excuse me, 43 plus the 5th one here is reading. Reading, R-E-A-R-E-A-D-I-N-G versus E-A-R-T-H. Reading Railroad, Earth, E-A-R-E-A-E-A-R, reading. D for the 4th corner, okay, I-N-G, ding, ding, time heaven, ding, time heaven, ding, you don't see, ding, it's a ring ding, from Earth to reading, it's a time heaven ring. This is the 5th one, this is what they say, 5th letter, 5th place in Monopoly, stretch it out to 6, Oriental. Ah, Oriental. You rang. The Addams family. You rang. Angel, resident of angel neutralization of the passage usage of the gates to come and enter into this world through a natural birth of his mother. through the seventh gate, where she spreads her legs and opens up what seems to be a black hole. But then, when the pressure mounts, we see a crown, but yet we see no king, as the slimy little thing pushes through the cavern, through, I got a birdie, in hole number 5. The arms of the doctor go forward, and position 135 of birth, and he lifts up. And as the baby comes out, there's this little doorbell at the front as you enter and as you exit, and the nose hits that doorbell to life. And then you cut the umbilical cord. Umbilical cord? Rain Man? Umbrella? Umbilical cord? I can't even say it. What's it all about? You see, maybe they didn't want you to know what an umbilical cord is all about. I can't even say it. Hey, we're going to cut the umbilical cord. Would you like to do it? Well, before you do it, we have to make a prayer. I onto the umbilical cord, and the guy repeats, I onto, what? Umbilical who? Billick. See, now, from repeating it, I now come up with Billick. The umbrella of Billick. And I know if I repeat this more, whatever is inside my head will come out and tell me a story. In a orderly fashion, of course. I mean, when you think, even if you can bring 25 subjects into it, the primary goal is the end thought. That's what you're going to end up with. So you can start large. Anyways, I don't know where we are. The other thing I was trying to figure out is this. 114. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 world. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 worlds. 1 and 1 and 4. Here's the 4 corner. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. You don't see the third one, right? Because you can only see 2 of 3. 1, 2, because 3 and 3 will make 6 numbers. 2 of 6 numbers. Okay, that's all you can do. Or it's 3 and 3 here. Okay, so you took it over here, so it's 1 and 1, or it's 1 and 1. It's just like if I wanted to go make a bet in the roulette. I put my thing over here, in the middle here, but it doesn't get the middle here, but it gets the middle here. Or I put it here, and I don't get to make the bet on the other side where my thumb is. Same stuff. What you can do, what you can't do, what is open, what is empty, what is taken of space, what took of space, and will the area of coordinate of the space ever be free for anything else other than being occupied by this forever and ever? These coordinates are mine. Raphael 7286. In the constellation of Pegasus, just below Pegasus, which resides over on our Earth in the Baffin Islands, Nunavut, towards the North Pole. The energy of Christ is high in the sky, and I have the feeling he's going to come, my friends, before the end of time. This is a brand new conscience world of what I call the spirit heaven. 15 hours a day, 64 minutes in an hour, 90 seconds a minute. Metric time. We will find the answer.